Silence. All stand.
Admission of lawyers. Cara Lynn Cargill.
Let Carolee Cargill be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Hasveen Kaur Chahal.
May it please the court, I move that Hasveen Kaur Chahal be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Hasveen Kaur Chahal be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ariane Demetriou.
May it please the court, I move that Ariane Demetriou be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ariane Demetriou be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Daniel Francisco Fernandez.
May it please the court, I move that Danielle Francisco Fernandez be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Danielle Francisco Fernandez be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Michael Edward Graziano.
May it please the court, I move that Michael Edward Graziano be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Michael Edward Graziano be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Rebecca Ramsey Court.
May it please the court, I move that Rebecca Ramsey Court be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Rebecca Ramsey Court be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Adam Evan Lewis.
May it please the court, I move that Adam Evan Lewis be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Adam Evan Lewis be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Caitlin Marie Logan.
May it please the court, I move that Caitlin Marie Logan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Caitlin Marie Logan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Marco Francesco Antonio Lopresti.
May it please the court, I move that Marco Francesco Antonio Lopresti be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Marco Francesco Antonio Lopresti be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Claudia Elise Matthews.
May it please the court, I move that Claudia Elise Matthews be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Claudia Elise Matthews be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Julie Madawi.
May it please the court, I move that Julie Madawi be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Julie Madawi be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lucas Henry Moctezuma.
May it please the court, I move that Lucas Henry Moctezuma be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lucas Henry Montezuma be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Hugh Alastair Snowden.
May it please the court, I move that Hugh Alastair Snowden be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Let Hugh Alastair Snowden be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Natalie Jane Tuffin.
May it please the court, I move that Natalie Jane Tuffin be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Natalie Jane Tuffin be admitted as a lawyer of this court. It will be necessary for those applicants whose admission has just been moved to come before the bench for the purposes of swearing an oath or making a declaration. Please come forward as directed.
Please, will the admittees please stand? Cara Lynn Cargill, Hazveen Kaur Chahal, Ariane Demetriou, Danielle Francisco Fernandez, Michael Edward Graziano, Rebecca Ramsey Court, Adam Evan Lewis, Caitlin Marie Logan, Marco Francesco Antonio Lopresti, Claudia Elise Matthews, Julie Madawi, Lucas Henry Moctezuma, Alastair Snowden, Natalie Jane Tuffin. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"? Would you please be seated?
I'd like to warmly welcome you to celebrate your admission as a lawyer of this court. Before doing so, I'd like to recognise the various traditional lands on which we meet. This ceremony is taking place in the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I acknowledge and pay my respects to the elders, both past, present and emerging, of those lands on which we work and live. I would like to introduce the bench. My name is Justice Hoban and I'm the Chief Judge at Common Law. Present with me on the bench to my right is Justice Stevenson, who is a member of the Equity Division of the Supreme Court. And to my left is Justice Lonergan, who is a Judge of the Common Law Division. Today is a day for celebration. Your admission marks the culmination of your legal studies to date, when you can look back with pride and relief on those caffeine-fuelled nights when you were trying to memorise your case notes, when you were using, as it were, an entire rainbow of highlighters to remind yourself of important matters, of the many hours spent in lectures analysing carbolic smoke balls, eggshell skulls and snails in bottles. And just when you thought your student days were behind you, months trying to learn and squeeze in legal knowledge in PLT assessments. There can be no doubt that you've all worked extremely hard to get here. For many of you, these achievements would not have been possible without the support of your family and friends. They have been there through the seemingly endless years of study and have also, no doubt, been at the end of your finely polished skills as advocates and persons experienced in argument. Today is also a day for them to share with your success. I hope that you have time and remember to thank them for their support. In participating in this ceremony today, you've become part of a tradition which goes back to the 12th century, when on those occasions it became common for those representing others before the courts to swear an oath before being allowed to practice. The first admission in this state occurred almost 200 years ago, and that was in 1824. As a testament to the enduring nature of these ceremonies, young lawyers, just like yourselves, have been admitted at times of the Spanish flu and in 2 world wars. In being admitted today, you've made a commitment to uphold the rule of law, to administer the law competently with honesty and integrity, as have lawyers for centuries before you. It is out of respect for this long history that we mark your admission to the legal profession with the swearing of oaths, and we wear this somewhat unusual outfit. This is a period of great change for the legal profession. There is an increasing recognition that more and more must be done to ensure that lawyers have a safe working place, free from sexual harassment, discrimination and bullying. The normalisation of working from home will make the profession more family friendly long after the pandemic passes away. You are becoming lawyers at a time like no other. Our world is reeling from the turmoil of the pandemic, which has generated fear, uncertainty, has destroyed livelihoods and has curtailed movement across suburbs, states and countries. Despite the crisis, the rule of law has not been suspended. In fact, it is more important now than ever. History has taught us that human rights are at their most vulnerable in times of crisis. When significant decisions are necessarily made with great speed and without precedent, parliamentary sessions are suspended and unprecedented powers are given to the executive government, the role of lawyers in upholding the rule of law is more crucial than ever. The scale and severity of the pandemic has raised complex legal issues that strike at the very heart of our democracy and civil liberties. How do we balance public health and the right to freedom of assembly? How do we ensure expanded police powers are used in such a way as to protect the community? How do we enable those fleeing persecution to exercise their right to seek asylum in the face of travel bans and border closures? As lawyers, the commitment you have made today to uphold the rule of law is critical to ensuring that emergency measures balance public health considerations and civil liberties. This balance can only be struck in an environment of contestation and scrutiny by lawyers bringing matters before the courts. Our profession plays an essential role in ensuring that emergency measures are transparent, proportionate and applied in a non-discriminatory manner. At the same time, it is more important than ever that we connect the law with its profound human implications. The impact of the law on our lives has never been so pronounced. Lockdowns, border closures and travel bans necessarily impact on our freedom of movement and in the process our access to and enjoyment of many other rights. As lawyers, we have a special responsibility to uphold the rule of law by ensuring that the pandemic does not undermine access to justice. As a profession, we must be vigilant in protecting the rights and dignity of those disproportionately affected by emergency measures. We must ensure that even the most vulnerable have access to quality legal representation and to the full benefit of the law. We do this when we use our legal training to help vulnerable workers navigate their employment rights in times of illness, when we use commercial law as a tool to lighten the pressures on small businesses devastated by the restrictions, and when we help survivors of domestic violence in lockdown with abusive partners by providing access to legal services. As a member of the legal profession, you are now in a position of great privilege. You will play a trusted role in some of the most testing times in the lives of others. You will be a candidate, you will be a confidant and advisor and an advocate to many. As lawyers, we have a responsibility to use our training and knowledge as a tool for change. This year has shown us that there is much for us to defend and strengthen, undo and remake. As the newest members of our profession, you have an unparalleled opportunity to be part of this change for the better. Many of you would have chosen to study law because you wanted to promote human rights, to reform policy, or to advocate for the most vulnerable. I urge you today to remember why you decided to study law all those years ago. Irrespective of whether you practice in a commercial firm, a community legal centre, or pursue a career outside the law altogether, I encourage you to use your legal knowledge and capacity for critical thinking for public good. Today, you've joined a profession whose support and collegiality will prove invaluable. It is easy to feel isolated while we as a profession continue to work predominantly from home. Remember that even when you are working from home, you are not working alone. Although you might find it hard to believe, I was admitted quite a long time ago. In my 28 years at the bar, I lost my share of cases. In such times of stress, however, I could always count on other barristers on my floor to share my disappointment at the unfairness of the verdict, the sly tactics used by my opponent, and most often, I regret to say, the obtuseness of the judge or judges before whom I was appearing. I must qualify that last comment by placing on the record I do not include any of my fellow judges on the bench at the moment in that category. Finally, too many lawyers still feel that there is a stigma in talking about their mental health. Looking after your mental health is not something to be ashamed of. There will be times in your career when your work weighs on you to an unhealthy degree, when you feel disheartened or overwhelmed. When this happens, you should take time to seek professional help and turn to the enduring things in your life, like your family, partner or friends. On behalf of all the judges of the Supreme Court, I once again congratulate you on your admission and welcome you to the legal profession. The Court will now adjourn.
All stand. This honourable court is now adjourned. God save the Queen.
Okay, can I get the people on this